Clayton's kind of put together in that QB3 role to kind
Yeah.
of this opportunity?
Well, he came in, obviously about halfway through the season a few weeks ago, and he's done a really nice job just kind of observing, learning. He's always working behind the scenes to really, understand what we got going on. And the last few weeks he's done a really nice job. Obviously, he gets most of his reps on the scout team and things like that. But he's owned his role and done a really good job just being accountable for what we ask of him.
Steno, what's it been like with you and Matt and the rest of the offensive staff trying to put together the game plan this week with where quarterback is at,
Yeah.
other guys you might not want to play in this situation?
Yeah, it's been, well, a couple things. Obviously, Minnesota's defense is really, they pressure and they do a lot of things. They're multiple, and they're a really good defense. So that's the first layer. And the second layer is all the stuff you just talked about with, you got your third string quarterback playing. You got some other guys you may or may not play. So, yeah, it's been pretty stressful from that standpoint. But also, it's just part of the deal. And we're excited, that we're in the playoffs and everything like that. So we're in a good spot. But we just got to make sure we go out there, we're dialed in, and we go out there to compete.
Have you guys taken a different approach this week in practice? Jordan was kind of dismissive of the idea that not playing for as long as he will not have played in the game. Have you ratcheted up practice? How have you kind of approached it to try and keep those guys?
Yeah, certain periods, we'll have a couple more good periods as far as just like your ones going against each other as opposed to just doing scout cards and things like that. But I like the look in Jordan's eye. He's hungry. He's ready. He's looked good in practice. So it's been fine.
Adam, what would you say is Clayton's best attribute?
I think he's done a really good job. Anytime you get a backup quarterback that comes in and has to operate the huddle and all the motions and things like that, he's done a really nice job just executing the offense. So that's been very good. There hasn't been a lot of issues with bad play calls, bad cadences, things like that. So that's probably the most important thing, especially going into the environment that we're going to go to, is just making sure everyone knows what they're doing and everything, is executed the right way.
So, I don't know if you went back and looked at Clayton's one start that he made as a rookie.
Yep, we did.
I know it's probably worlds different, but what do you see different from a guy, who made his first start as a rookie a few years ago?
The good thing is he's done it. He's been out there. He has that confidence. But then he's also has the 2 years now of just like being around different systems, being around football in the professional game, talking to all these, quarterbacks like Malik talked about a couple weeks ago, just like how hard it is for rookies to come in from the college game to the professional game and go out there and execute an offense in the NFL. It's just a lot different with cadences, huddles, play calls, everything like that. So I think that's just what I was just talking about with how he's gone out there and been able to call plays to execute the offense. It's just a tribute to him and just how he just has been prepared and preparing for this moment for the last couple of years.
It's kind of an opportunity to showcase some guys that otherwise wouldn't have bigger roles.
Yeah.
Does Matthew Golden need to be on the top of that list this week?
Yeah, I'm excited to see, what all those guys can do. Not just him, but there's a bunch of other guys that are, may have not been the premier guys on normal game days. So it's going to be fun to watch all those guys go out there and compete. They're excited about it.
Long term, what does he got to do to have a bigger piece of this offense?
I think right now, he will. And the good thing is the last couple of weeks we've seen just like his rapport with Jordan, making plays out in practice. But it's tough right now. It honestly is, because you got Christian, you got Romeo, you got Jay Reed back. These guys have got really good experience and they're really good players. And, those are the guys you're leaning on right now. And I think Golden's got a really bright future. He's very talented, and his time will come. But I think right now, just with the room the way it is, he's not going to be in that premier role when the playoffs come around. So but again, if you told me he was the number one receiver on a play, I'd be very excited about it too. We have a lot of really good options when it comes to wide receiver right now, which is a blessing.
What happened to Donovan Jennings, and how much is, maybe it's nothing, but how much does that complicate whatever you're planning to do offensive line wise?
Yeah, he got injured in practice, and I'll just leave it at that. We're still kind of evaluating where he's going to be at, so that's all I'll just say. But yeah, anytime a guy goes down that you're, counting on or whatever, now it's just another guy that's going to get opportunities. So yeah, we'll kind of see where it goes.
He's been here for a couple of years. What have you kind of thought of where he's?
Yeah, no, he plays with good physicality, and he's fired up. He's always ready to go. He's got a great attitude, and you've seen him just kind of, especially as this year's gone on, just playing with more confidence, more physicality, more get off in the run game, more strength, and his fundamentals in pass pro have really improved. So I'm excited about him.
Who's your backup at center? Is it Monk or?
Yeah, we got Monk. Donovan Jennings was one of them. Lasita Smith also snaps. That's about it right now. So yeah, 4 options.
Would you like to give Shawn Ryan a rest if you could, or is that not really on the table?
Yeah, we're still kind of evaluating who's available and things like that. So he'll go out there and compete, and he'll have a smile on his face. That's how he is. I love that guy. He plays hard. He's made the right way, that's for sure.
Speaking of Shawn, was it just a weird thing with a different quarterback and like the snap that on the
Yeah, that was obviously really unfortunate. And it was just basically, I'm sure he's talked about it, just a mistake on his part of not being on the same page and unfortunate because that was a really big play in the game that really, put us behind. So we just got to learn from it and not let it happen again.
We know how much Josh Jacobs loves to play. Is this a week where he doesn't even fight because he knows he's not going to play, or does he still want to get on the field on Sunday?
I'm going to leave all of that stuff to Matt as far as who's in and who's out. Obviously, Josh is an extremely important piece to us. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Adam, with the being short at tight end because of injuries, and then how much does that hurt you if you're like in 13 or want to be in 13 and you're in the red zone?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the people to do it, you just don't even do it. You know what I mean? You have to find other ways to create offense and operate. But yeah, it's nice to be versatile. It's nice, like you said, that if you could go in 13 or throw an extra tackle in there, but we've been doing that a lot lately, just using those guys in those roles. But yeah, it just depends on who you have available.
Stenavich, I'm sure you had a pretty good idea based on everything you've seen from Malik of what he's capable of, but seeing what he was able to do on Saturday night, did that just elevate him one more level?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised, but every time you go out there, you're just like, wow, he's done such an excellent job just owning his role, and especially kind of what he went through last week when he had the flu, missed practice, and we were still, on the fence if Jordan was going to clear the protocols and all that stuff. So, and then when it didn't happen, just the work that he put in and the work that Coach Mannion put in to get him ready to go, that was a really big deal for all those guys.
I know this is above your pay grade, so you may not answer it, but would you love to have him a year from now, even though there's probably going to be teams lined up at his door?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, is he good enough to be a starter in this league? Absolutely. And I'm sure he's going to want that opportunity if it comes. But I would absolutely love to have him back. He's been awesome to coach. He's a great teammate. He's a professional. He's dialed in every day. He does it the right way, that's for sure.
What makes him, as you put on your QB eval hat, what makes him good enough to be a starter in this league? What does that look like?
Well, you look at, can he throw? Yes. He can make any throw on the field. Can he extend plays with his feet? Yes. He's elite. He can run. He can do all that stuff. So he does a great job operating the offense. If you look at our production, it does not dip when he's in the game. So all that stuff just kind of shows that he's capable of handling that role for sure.
Hey, Steno, I know this is a different week, but You guys were so damn good in the red zone for so much of
Yeah,
the year.
yeah.
Do you feel like you guys, I'm sure you've spent time on it, you feel like you guys
Yep.
have kind of figured out what had been an issue for those 2 games and can get it going again for the playoffs?
Yeah, no, that's certainly been our Achilles heel as of late. When you're talking about offensive production and scoring points, I think what we do in the red zone is extremely important, as important as anything we've done. So we definitely need to be better there. We need to execute better down there, make sure we're not getting into negative plays, make sure we're not turning the ball over. We had a couple turnovers down there. So just things like that where we get opportunities to score points and score 7 points, we got to make sure we do it, especially when you're playing really good teams.